Hello everyone and welcome to Florida Tips for Brits. My name is Andrew and in today's video I'm going to be answering all of your first timer questions about visiting Walt Disney World in Florida. And without any further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first question that I want to address is that surrounding the park reservation system. Now, if you know anything about Walt Disney World at all, you will have heard plenty of talk about the theme park reservation system that Disney has been employing ever since the dreaded COVID. Now, I'm very pleased to report that theme park reservations are no longer a thing that you need to be worrying about. Probably. Because I say probably because there are a couple of caveats to that. As of January 9th this year, that's 2024, Disney did, for the most part, get rid of the theme park reservation system. So, what they did was they scrapped it for anybody who has what they call date-based tickets. So, if you are booking a ticket as part of a holiday package, or you're buying a ticket from a company like Florida Tix or Attraction Tickets here in the UK, they will usually say, when would you like the first day of your ticket to be? So let's say you're buying, like at the moment, probably a very popular ticket is the 14-day for the price of 7 magic ticket or extra magic ticket or whatever they call it these days. So let's say you purchase one of those. You're going to get access to the theme parks for up to 14 days over like an agreed period. I think it's like 14 days in a 28-day period or something. I don't know, you'd have to check up on that. But basically, they'll ask you what day you'd like the ticket to start. So you say, I want it to start on the 14th. I want it, because I know I'm going from the 14th to the 28th, and it's going to cover my whole stay. If you do that and you're picking dates, you will not need to worry about making theme park reservations anymore. So that's probably going to cover like 9 out of 10 people, maybe 9.5 out of 10 people who are watching this video right now. For the other people, maybe you've got something like an annual pass or something like that. If you do have an annual pass, then theme park reservations do still apply. Sometimes you will still need to check on the My Disney Experience app to see if what they're doing in like these good to go days. They have stuff called good to go days if you've got an annual pass, which basically means you don't need to make a reservation. But other than that, you will still need to make a reservation if you have an annual pass. But for the most part and for most people, reservations are gone. Thank God. All right, second thing I want to talk about, and it's in keeping with the theming of the tickets and the getting in and out of the parks, and that is, can I park hop? Again, you may have heard that park hopping has been a little bit more convoluted since the dreaded Rona. And what we mean by park hopping is the ability to, say, start your day out in Animal Kingdom and then you decide to move over to Epcot and then maybe later on go over to Magic Kingdom to close the day out. That's called park hopping, basically, is the term for that. Up until very recently, it has been that you'd have to wait until after 2 p.m. after having entered your original reservation before you could park hop at all. So no matter where you went, where you started the day, you had to go and tap in through the touch points and you could only park hop after 2 p.m. Now, recently they have again scrapped that along with the park reservation system. So basically now you go to one park, you might start Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom sometimes opens at say 7 a.m, so you might start there at 7, and by 10 a.m. you might have done the ride or two or whatever, seen the show that you wanted to do, and you may want to move over to Epcot. Well, great news, because now you can go ahead and you can just park hop whenever you feel like it. So park hopping is back, proper park hopping. Yes. Next thing I want to talk about, and this will be another thing that no doubt it will have cropped up on your radar. Let's talk about Genie Plus a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail here. In fact, I have got videos on this channel that go into a lot more detail. I'll link them down below if you want to check them out. But for now, let's just get the basics out of the way. What is it? Well, Genie Plus is a paid system to help you skip the lines, or at least get into shorter lines. That's it in a nutshell. You pay some money per person in your party, and you're allowed to use these things called lightning lanes, which hopefully are going to lead to reduce wait times and more rides for you during the day. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is there's something called individual lightning lanes, which are for the extra fancy rides. So in other words, all the rides that you probably want to go on, Rise of the Resistance, Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. And these are you buy these on an ad hoc basis. You don't need to have the Genie Plus to do it. You can just go and say, I do want an individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy, and Disney gives you a price. I'm not going to quote prices here because prices change all the time. It depends on how busy the park is, the time of year and stuff like that. Because yes, Disney have embraced surge pricing a la Uber. It used to just be a simple case of, an individual lightning lane's $18 or whatever. Disney Plus is $20 for the day. No, everything's on surge pricing now. So check the pricing if that's something that you want to do. Disney Plus is, if it's on your radar, you're going to have to check for your particular dates that you're going, because it will vary. Now, secondly, do you need to have Genie Plus? And the short answer is no, absolutely not. In fact, I've never paid for it. So do you need to have it? No, you don't. You can just go in a standby line. You will probably wait a bit longer, but obviously you're not going to have to pay for Genie Plus. Right, so next thing I want to talk about is people ask me a lot, can I take my own food and drink into the theme parks, or the Disney police just going to like confiscate it? And the answer here is yes, you can totally take your own food and drink into Disney theme parks, but they do have a few rules around this. So, number one, no alcohol. You can't take your own booze in, okay? There are places inside the theme parks these days where you can get an alcoholic drink if that's what you're after, but you're not allowed to take your own in. So if you've got designs on taking a cooler full of Bud Light into the theme park or whatever, then no, it's not gonna happen, okay? So no booze, no glass. You heard me talk about cooler there briefly. You can take coolers into the park. There's a bit of a myth that you can't take coolers in. You can't take gigantic coolers. Like I remember back in the days, you used to go to Disney and people would literally have, those huge coolers on wheels that you have to like drag. And yeah, they stopped that because people were literally bringing like, half their fridge with them. But a small cooler or a cool bag, we usually take a cool bag, and if we've got a pushchair or something like that, we can normally just put it under the pushchair, and we'll keep some drinks and some snacks in there, and with cool packs, because the other thing is no loose ice. So you're not allowed, you can bring cool packs, those type of little blue brick things that you put in your freezer and get cold. They're absolutely fine, but you can't take loose ice. You can put ice in a drink bottle, because I've seen people say no ice. Well, you can take ice, but as long as it's in a drinks bottle. So let's say you've got like a bottle of water and you'd like it to be cold, or you freeze that bottle of water at the hotel or the villa or wherever you're staying, and then you take that in to let it melt during the day and drink it. That's absolutely fine, but no loose ice. They mean coolers full of loose ice, not allowed to take them in. But other than that, yeah, you're golden. You can, sandwiches, snacks, cookies. I take cookies. Cookies and fruit are a big one with my kids. I find that really helps when they're getting a bit, they're getting a bit fractious. You can just, drop them a Chips Ahoy cookie, and that'll normally keep them going a bit longer. So yeah, you can totally take your own stuff in. Right, on the subject of food and beverage, people ask me, is it true that I can get free water when I'm at Disney? Yes, totally true. You can get free water when you're at Walt Disney World. All you have to do is go up to any counter service window, ask for ice water. They'll give you ice water. They'll provide you a little cup and some ice water in it. You don't actually have to go up to the window if they've got the self-serve kind of dispenser type drink machines. So for example, Sunshine Seasons in Epcot and Connections Cafe and Eatery in Epcot, they have the self-service type machines. So then if they've got these little grey buttons on, you can just go up, walk up, press the button, fill your water bottles up or whatever you might have to get some water. Or you can go up to the counter and ask for ice water, dealer's choice. Also at Epcot, fun fact, you can actually get free Coca-Cola products. So at Epcot, there is something called Club Cool, which is just has a little special place in my heart, because how often do you get something for nothing when you're at Disney? Now, the water's well and good, but if you go to Club Cool, you get to try different fizzy drinks from around the world, or different sodas, I guess, because we're in America. Some of them are really nice, and some of them are quite disgusting. I'm not going to spoil that for you. I'm going to let you discover that on your own. But yeah, you can get free water, and in some cases, free Coca-Cola. All right, the next thing I want to touch on is magic bands. What are they, and do you have to have one? First of all, let's do that backwards. Do you have to have one? No, you don't. You don't have to have one. You can use a a ticket, you can get a plastic card. They still hand those out. You don't tend to get them now when you buy tickets. Everything tends to be e-tickets, but if you go and ask like guest services, or if you're staying at a Disney hotel and you want a plastic card, they'll give you one with all the info on it, linked to the app. So you can still get in using the traditional plastic tickets. You can get in using the mobile app. You can get in using the app for your Apple Watch. If you've got an Apple Watch, you can use that to get in. So no, there's no like requirements to have a Magic Band. I do have a Magic Band. I find them super duper convenient. You know, they're fully waterproof. You just slap them on in the morning and just go. But having said that, if you've already got like an Apple Watch or something on, is it more convenient than just keeping your watch on and using that to tap in and out? I don't know. That's going to be up to you to decide. Now, there are other things that the Magic Band can do for you. Like, for example, if you're on a ride or something like that, and it has an interactive portion. It's like It's a Small World, for example. At the end of It's a Small World, you'll see everybody's names come up. Not everybody, but some people. And that's reading that from the Magic Bands that those people are wearing. So it'll say like, "Goodbye, Dave," or whatever. So just fun stuff like that you can get with the Magic Band. Of course, now they have Magic Band Plus, which does other stuff. So these things like they light up, they interact with statues around the park and things like that. So are they fun? Yeah, they are. Can they be useful? Yeah, for sure, you know. But do you need one? No, not at all. It's totally up to you. I guess it's a keepsake as well. Nice to have, I guess, when you come home. You know, it's just something that's not only useful, but you can look back on and think, oh, we had fun, didn't we, at Disney World? So, I mean, I'd probably get one. When mine eventually runs out, I'll probably end up buying another one, but you definitely don't need to have one. Okay, so next up, this one is a big one, and that is, how much does it cost to park my car at the Disney theme parks? Now, if you are not staying on site, so let's say you're staying in a villa or you're staying in a hotel which is a non-Disney hotel, you're going to have to pay to park your vehicle when you go to Walt Disney World. Now, if you've got a standard car or motorcycle, then it's going to be $30 a day for standard parking. Now, they do offer other tiers of parking, preferred and VIP and God knows what. That can be like $40, $50, I don't know, maybe even more. But standard parking is $30 a day. Now, standard passenger car, what we mean by that is anything that's just a standard passenger vehicle. So even if you've got one of those like great big people carriers or minibus type things, they're still considered a standard passenger car. If you've got some, what they're really meaning is people who've got like motorhomes that are like twin axle and things like that, they'll be charged a little bit more because obviously those things are so large, they're going to take up multiple spaces. But for, you know, the likelihood is anything that you might be renting when you're in Florida is going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be $30 to park your car, unless you're staying at one of those resort hotels, in which case your resort reservation is also good for your parking. So all you would do is, as you pull up to the turnstile, the toll booth type thing for parking, you give them a flash of the Magic Band or show them your reservation or whatever, and they give it a scan. They can see you're staying at, I don't know, Coronado Springs. That's where I stayed last time. Coronado Springs, and they go, oh yeah, okay, you're good, and you don't pay for parking because that's like a perk of staying at a Disney hotel. So if you're staying at an on-site hotel, you wouldn't have to pay to park your car, if of course you bothered to have a car at all, because for a lot of people, one of the huge advantages of staying on site at a Disney hotel or at a Disney resort is that you get access to the Disney transportation system. And that's another question. A lot of people ask me, well, how do I get around if I don't have a car or something like that? Okay, so this is for people staying at a resort, basically. You can get from your resort to any of the theme parks or Disney Springs or what have you using either and or buses, Skyliners, monorails or boats. Now, the options that are available to you will depend upon which resort you're staying at. So for example, if you're staying at, I'm going to use Coronado Springs again because I stayed there last. If you're staying at Coronado Springs, buses are your only option. But if you're staying at somewhere like Pop Century, you've also got access to not only the buses, but you have access to the Skyliner as well. And of course, if you're staying somewhere like the Contemporary or the Polynesian, you're on the monorail loop, so you've got an access to monorail, or you could even walk it from those hotels to say Magic Kingdom, because of course it's very close. Likewise, we stayed at the Swan Hotel, sorry, not the Dolphin, we stayed at the Swan Hotel last time we went, and that is walking distance to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So that's pretty good. So, you know, other resorts, like, there has been a water taxi. There's been a water taxi from Port Orleans Riverside, and I think Port Orleans French Quarter for years, but it's closed until further notice at the moment, so I'm not going to count that as an option here. But like, as far as I'm aware, they still operate the water taxis from places like I think Wilderness Lodge has a water taxi that you can get in and things like that. So it's either going to be boat, monorail, bus, or Skyliner is the other one. I completely forgot what it was called then. Skyliner, the cable cars. Of course, you can use other means of getting about. Rideshare like Uber or Lyft will pick up from there. And of course, there are those super fun minivans. Now, the minivans are actually operated by Lyft. They're just Disney themed. They're a lot of fun if you can get one. I actually couldn't get one last time. Couldn't get the Lyft app to work at all, no matter what I did, but that's a different story. Okay, so keeping on the theme of Walt Disney World transportation, another question I get asked a lot is, well, if I'm not staying at a Disney hotel, am I still allowed to use the transportation? And the great news here is yes. As long as you are a guest of Disney, so you've bought a ticket and you're going to Walt Disney World, if you want to use a bus to park hop or a Skyliner to park hop, or you just want to go for a ride on the monorail, you can totally do that, and you're absolutely fine to do it. Another note on that, I'm going to dovetail this in there, is that some people want to go and check out other resorts that they might not be staying at, or even if they're not staying at a Disney resort at all and they want to know, can they do that? You can do that as long as you've got a dining reservation if you intend to park your car, or you come in on something like a monorail or what have you. So you can visit the resorts, either a different resort to the one you're staying at, or even if you're staying off-site, you're totally fine to just take a look around the Disney resorts. But just be aware, if you do want to park your car there, you are going to need a dining reservation, because they're not just going to let you park on site. If you intend to take a monorail in, or a boat in, or a bus in, don't worry about it, it's fine. You can totally go for a bit of a nosy. And last but not least, I get asked this a lot, and this one's kind of important, and that is, in my opinion, when is the best time to visit Walt Disney World? And the answer here is, I have absolutely no idea. Even though I've been going to Walt Disney World for more than 30 years, you can say with some assurity that obviously Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving are going to be like brutally busy. Try and avoid those unless that's what you want. You know, if you want the full experience, I guess that's going to be fantastic. I've been at Easter, I've been at Christmas, and I've been at Thanksgiving. It's not for me, honestly. The Christmas period and stuff, that's fine. But like Christmas Day, no thank you. It's just super busy, and you know, it's not for me. So obviously, avoiding term times if you can, or avoiding school holidays, I should say. If you can, you're going to get lower crowd levels, but I know obviously that's not going to be an option for a lot of people who, like myself, might have children and are bound by school holidays and stuff like that. So what I would say is, if you do have to go during the school holidays, which are obviously going to be busy at times, my advice to you is obviously try and get to the theme parks early. Getting there as early as you can really pays dividends, especially in the summer, because not only is it cooler, but the crowds are much lower, and you can usually get like so much done in the first hour and a half, and then the crowds will really start to build up. What I like to do, I like to get there early, have a break in the middle of the day, and then maybe go back a bit later on, because what you also tend to find is that theme parks tend to thin out as the day goes on as well. Even Magic Kingdom, a lot of the times Magic Kingdom, which stays open the latest, after the fireworks, it often stays open for another hour or two after fireworks, and a lot of people just go home after the fireworks, so you can get a surprising amount done late on in the day. Animal Kingdom, another prime example, after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because it tends to close earlier. Animal Kingdom tends to close early, it doesn't have any evening entertainment or anything like that. Goodness me, I mean, usually if you're there for the last hour at Animal Kingdom, we once went on Expedition Everest about 10 times in about 20 minutes. It was just literally a case of as fast as we could. I'm doing this because that's what I felt like when I came off, but as fast as we could go round and go back on the ride, we just rode it. We literally did it like 10 times in the last hour, last 30 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it takes to do it 10 times. It was so good. And that wasn't a one-off. We've done that more than once. So You just got to kind of play it by ear. You know what your party's going to be up to. Are they up for staying up late? Are they up for getting up early? But if you can, get up early, even if it means coming back to your hotel or your villa or whatever in the middle of the day, take a break and then maybe go back and stay extra late. Even if you don't do that every time, but that's what I would do. That's what I do. And I found that you can usually get away and get everything done then without having to resort to paying for Genie Plus. There are going to be exceptions to that. It's not foolproof, but that would be my advice for that one. So that's it. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you did, please remember to give it a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, and if you're done here now, you might want to check out this video next. Thanks for watching.